What's your average screen time like?
Oh God, it's really bad.
Are they actually generating dopamine hits that make you come back for more?
Yes, they are. Excessive social media use alters this dopamine and serotonin use.
Why is it so addictive?
Like when I was a child, I used to be like, oh, Doraemon has everything in his pocket, and now I think the same thing is with the phone.
Teenagers are now getting shorter attention spans because of the time they spend on screens.
So many teenagers come to me and say, oh, I get like 8 hours of sleep. I'm like, great. So what time did you sleep? 4 a.m. to 12 noon.
When I don't get sleep at night, I'm just scrolling Instagram. There have been times I had to keep my phone in another room. A lot of people that I know and they're like, ChatGPT is my best friend.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Social media is just bad for your mental health, period.
Moms are always like,
Yeah.
stomachache, keep using your phone. Oh, headache, you keep
It's all
using your
because of
phone.
the
It's
phone.
all because of that.
You're not addicted, I'm asking. I often think back to my childhood when the biggest distraction really was waiting for Chitrahar, that 1 hour on a Sunday. Then we would play hide and seek with our friends till it got dark. We would read books. There were no computers, there were no screens, endless scrolling, notifications, buzzing all the time. That didn't exist. I feel like the pace of life was just slower. It was lighter and somehow it was just simpler. Today, I think things are very different. So in a country like India, where 85% of households own a smartphone, we are spending nearly 6.75 hours a day glued to screens. And that is just the average. Screen time is lifetime. And we are losing so much of our lives to social media, to videos, to gaming. Even school children are at risk. Up to 44% show signs of addiction. And doctors are now warning us about surging cases of myopia, of sleep issues, and even depression. We work on our screens, we learn from screens. The digital world is here to stay. But is it empowering or enslaving? And what is the real cost of our digital dependency? But this could also just be an evolution, like every generation has adapted to something new. So are we heading into dangerous territory where social media is shaping our mental health and relationships? Or is this just another phase in our evolution? That's exactly what we're breaking down today, the science, the myths, and the balance between connection and addiction. Hello and welcome to All About Her, a space where we have honest and meaningful conversations about women's health, wellness, happiness, and self-care. And today we're going to discuss digital dependency and digital detox. And honestly, we couldn't have a better fit than the two amazing women joining me today to talk about this. So first, we have someone who has literally grown up with social media and I think has built a career in the middle of it. With over 50 million followers on Instagram, she's not just witnessed the evolution of digital platforms, she's lived it, she's navigated it, and I think it's safe to say that she has shaped it. Actor, influencer, and youth icon, please welcome Jannat Zubair.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you.
And to balance this conversation with the science, the psychology, and the emotional impact of our digital habits, we have with us Khushnaaz Noras, consulting psychologist and psychotherapist, who works very closely with individuals who are navigating these challenges in their real lives. So I want to thank you both for being here today. It's a conversation I think that we're starting to have now. I think we're all aware about our dependence on screens, but in terms of how unhealthy this really is, how much it's taking away from our lives, that's a conversation that's beginning in my circles. And I think there might be lots of people who would be watching this, who would be aware but still not sure how to navigate this. I thought I would ask you first, Jannat. What's your average screen time like?
Oh God, it's really bad. It's between, I think 5 to 6 hours a day.
And I want to ask Khushnaaz, is that a lot?
It's unhealthy.
Because Jannat is, of course, her work is on screens. I want to ask you what your average screen time is.
So see, I also take my online sessions from my phone.
Yes.
So my average screen time that way would be as similar to hers, but I am also using it for work.
I know.
But I think it's really bad. So whether I think you are like her an influencer or a therapist, I think screen time is
screen time.
Yeah, screen time is screen time.
Yeah.
It is definitely maybe sometimes more than 5 to 6 hours, because if I'm taking online calls, it's more than that.
Yeah.
I know. And
So I'm much worse than you then.
that's what I'm saying. I think, we sometimes perhaps become more aware of the fact, if we're working on screens, how to curtail it. But when it's invisibly touching our lives, is when maybe it gets out of hand. So before we get into it, I just want to ask you a little bit about your journey. Of course, everybody knows you started acting from a very young age.
Yes.
I think you were 4, if I'm not
6,
mistaken,
7,
or 6,
yes.
which is incredibly young.
Yeah.
And that journey to now, with the evolution of media, to entering social media and Instagram, and that being a part of your career, how has that change been for you? And specifically, when did you take to Instagram, and how did 50 million happen?
I started off young, and for good 11 to 12 years, everything that I used to do was in front of the camera, but never the phone camera.
Right.
Okay, so I think I was 15 or 16 years old when I started making videos just for fun. In between shots, just to get like some time off. Sometimes I used to make videos with my brother. And then I stopped acting in TV shows. I just wanted to take a break. That's when I started making more videos just for fun. And then one fine day I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, 2 million views, 3 million views, followers increasing. And that time we used to also have TikTok.
Yes.
I think it was just the right timing. So there was never a strategy. We never saw this coming. We never knew it's going to become so big and I'm going to be a part of it. And then I will see myself having 50 million followers 5 years down the line. It just organically happened with me, and I think the timing was immaculate.
Right.
So I think the major credit that I would give for my 50 million would be the timing, because I started getting viral and I started making a lot of content in 2018 to 19, where all of this was literally booming.
Right.
So I think it just happened organically, and till date I don't treat my social media as a strategy.
Right.
I started off just to make videos, just to get rid of the boredom and all of that.
And what were you doing most? Like, a lot of people do cooking, a lot of people do getting ready in front of the camera, a lot of people just do whatever they're doing at that moment and capture it. Like you said, moments with your brother.
Majorly do like slow motion videos and then just put a random song. I used to do a lot of lip sync videos, like very random thing. Like I used to never like create content initially, and then we started creating like 15-second content and all of that, but I never put in a lot of time creating my content. I made sure that whatever I put across, it has to be something that reflects who I am. I'm not somebody who will, create comedy content, because I can't, it's not.
You have to be true to yourself.
True to myself. So I used to do like normal lip sync videos, because that is something, even when I'm sitting in my car, going out for drives, if a song plays, I like the song, I still make like videos and just post on my story. So that is more like me. If anybody comes to me and they're like 50 million, how did you get here? I honestly don't have an answer. It just happened.
But it happened gradually, because you said 5 years. So it took 5 years to get to 50 million.
Yes, more than 5 years, because I got on Instagram, I think in 2016 or 2017, I'm not very sure about that. But that time it was just getting started. Okay, and then I think I hit my first million in 2018, and then since then, it started like, every day 1 lakh. People started following you and all of that. So I think the pace, as in the growth was, in 2018, it just took like
took off.
Yes, it took off.
I wanted to come to you, Khushnaaz, in terms of this phenomenon of social media, of Instagram, of these apps that exist. I feel like if we look at human history, there have been lots of life-changing phases, and human beings have adapted to that. Whether it was even books, and people started reading, whether it was television, whether it was the internet, now we have social media. So is this proliferation of social media part of our existence and something that we will adapt to, or is this a different kind of challenge that our minds and bodies are being subject to?
So it is definitely a different challenge, because whenever there is a new thing that comes up, a new innovation, people have to first use it, learn it, be okay with it. I think we've done very well with social media on that. Now the problem is to put a pause on that. So we have wholeheartedly accepted it, we have also made sure that we are immersed in it, but how to build that boundary is what we have to learn, and that's when we'll actually adapt to it to the fullest.
Right.
Otherwise, right now I think all of us are just excessively using it, and there's no filter.
Why is it so addictive?
If you see social media or any technology, it is so colorful, it is engaging, it is enticing. It's so interactive, right? And there are so many people who will write comments on a particular reel or post, and nowadays they get a comment back either from the person, from the creator, or even other people. So it's so interactive, it's always available at your disposal. Like you cannot call a friend at 3 a.m. in the night and say that, oh, okay, now I'm bored, help me, or something, but social media is everywhere. And I don't think that there can be a single human being who can say ever that I have seen everything that's there on social media, or I have seen every series on Netflix. It's not possible because it is unlimited. And that, I think, information is out there and accessible just at the fingertip. So I think that's what makes it so addictive in nature, because it's always there.
What are you doing most on your screens? Is it to relax, to consume? Is it to create? And are there certain things that you find yourself doing more?
Honestly, I would say it's a mixture of a lot of things. Obviously, I use it when I'm bored. I use it to shop. I use it to just scroll. I use it to gain a lot of knowledge, because also when I'm doing my brands, I need to understand how other people have done it. I use it to watch podcasts. I use it to watch series. I use it to read sometimes about people. So I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, and that's what the main problem is. Why is it so addictive? Is because you get everything, like in here it's everything, like any question, any doubt.
You're constantly picking it up.
Constantly. I'm like, okay, where is that shirt from? Oh, I want to buy something like this, and I'm just going to be like, this, and I see multiple options. So that is why it's so addictive. Like one device that gets you to every corner of the world. Like when I was a child, I used to be like, oh, Doraemon has everything in his pocket. And now I think the same thing is with the phone. Anything you want to know about, anything that you want to see that you can't probably just go in person and see, you can always have it in your phone and see it in your phone. And it's just, I think it's a Doraemon's pocket now.
It's true, it's so true. But there's also, I've read things like dopamine hits that you get in terms of the addiction. And we'll talk about dependency versus addiction. But if you can just explain to us from that perspective of what's happening to our brains, are they actually generating dopamine hits that make you come back for more?
Yes, they are.
And how does that work?
Yes, so I'll tell you. So what dopamine is? So dopamine is a neurotransmitter. So the thing with this neurotransmitter is that it is also our neuromodulator. So what does a neuromodulator do is that it helps us with the reward learning system in the brain. And there's another neurotransmitter called serotonin. Now it has other uses, but let's use it in social media context. So it helps you with your memory, mood and sleep. Now studies have proven that excessive social media use creates an imbalance and alters this dopamine and serotonin use. So the 4-5 most important things of our life, like mood, memory, sleep and reward system, is now completely haywire because of the excessive social media use. And earlier, I mean, you would do something to get a reward. So if today I'm bored, let's say, or today I just want to reward myself for and see some reel. But what have I done to get it? Earlier you had to work hard. On the phone you don't have to work hard, right? She's not told me that you have to see, like, let's say 20 episodes to see this one episode. Right? I can interact with her digitally anytime. And that, that I think brings that change and rewiring in the brain.
But tell me more about the dopamine. So how does that bring you back? Like what is that connection between dopamine and addiction?
Addiction is something where you just keep compulsively going through a habit which gives you happiness, or just that a little lift in your mood. So that is what dopamine does, and where it affects the dopamine is that this reward system is affected. You no longer have to work hard to get it. It's just there all the time.
Is there one app that you wish didn't exist?
Tough one.
I'm saying you may enjoy it. It may be like a guilty pleasure, but that it's taken something away from you.
Those random beauty filter apps, maybe. I think they just set such unrealistic beauty standards, especially in the younger audience. A little fun is okay. Like, even for me, a lot of people, you know, if a pimple pops up in a picture, you remove it. You do like a normal smoothing of the skin just to make it more clear, a little bit tweaks, and things are okay, but you can't like completely change your face.
No.
I mean, you can't do that. I have met people, they look so different in the pictures, and then when you see them and you're like, I thought that was some other person. So I think those random beauty apps, I think they've
also people set
changed.
their filters on selfies for themselves,
Yes.
what they think looks attractive, and then they take a selfie with you, and then I look at myself in that selfie and I'm saying, this looks very odd.
But you know, Soha, filters are still okay. Like, we have filters on Snapchat, on Instagram, a lot of application, even on WhatsApp now. You have filters.
I didn't even know WhatsApp.
I didn't even know. I was just video calling a friend, and then
so you can set it to a video call.
And then you get the doggy filter and a lot of other filters like a queen filter and all of that. Those kind of filters are still okay. I'm talking about the applications that would like change your lips.
And it's
they will change your lips, your eyes. They'll give you some dimple. They'll give you good jawline, cheekbones. They will slim your waist and all of that. See, now that is something. It's very scary.
That's going into
it's in a wrong direction.
That's going into a worrying space.
Yes.
I want to explore that space more, but you touched on something like, you know, the fact that it's affecting things like sleep and certain pillars that are important for our wellness. One thing also that I've been told that it affects is your attention span. And that a lot of teenagers, especially because they're more vulnerable perhaps and have less control or exercise, maybe exercise less control over these things. Teenagers are now getting shorter attention spans because of the time they spend on screens.
Yes, it is absolutely true, because 2-3 things happen as a result of that. One is that they are becoming more and more impulsive in nature. There is this inability to focus. So what happens, because social media and all is so engaging and interactive, when you go back to reading a book which has just white and black, I mean white pages and something black written, it's no longer as interesting to them. So they find it very difficult to focus. Another thing, if you'll go to see, is that because of the reels, right, being like 40 seconds, 60 seconds,
15 seconds
15 seconds also,
or shorter,
right, or shorter. Now even on YouTube, teenagers sometimes tell me that, you know, if an episode is like 20 minutes, I just can't see it. And I'm like, that is your attention span now, right? And it also leads to decreased productivity, because they'd rather be on their phones than, you know, do something. But post 2020, I see that in 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, that their attention span is also coming down. Though, of course, for teenagers, I mean, their minds are still developing, so it's much more for them. But in general, I see that the attention span of people has come down if things are not as engaging or as intriguing.
And I'm saying that producers of content are indulging that. So they're sort of catering to that. I mean, I'm saying even when we used to, I haven't gone to a nightclub in a very long time, but when we used to go to nightclubs, they used to play songs that used to last about 3 minutes. But now the DJ is changing it. Before you get into it, it's moved to something else. I wanted to ask you, Jannat, because you've, of course, from a very young age, been involved in this. Have you seen any changes, or are you aware of any kind of fatigue or attention span being affected by this because of the amount of time you have had to spend on screens? Or do you manage to exercise some control over that?
Honestly, I think I am disciplined comparatively. Also because I feel like most of my times I'm on my sets or working or doing meetings or meeting people, if not discussing things. And I think I have started to add all of these things in my schedule because of this problem, that I can't help but keep checking my phone. Like it's unhealthy. And there have been times I've been like, I've left my house and I've been like, okay, let me just go on a drive, because I can't like just keep scrolling.
You left your phone at home and gone?
Yes.
Isn't that, but that must feel like constantly like, oh, I left my phone, I've left my phone. Even when I intentionally leave my phone, I'm looking for it all the time.
Honestly, I don't feel like, oh, I didn't even realize and I've been on my phone since 2 hours. No, I know when I'm on my phone, and I know when to keep it. And I know when to take breaks.
But who's at home with you? Is there someone also observing this behavior?
Like my mom. Moms are always like, oh, stomachache, keep using your phone. Oh, headache, you keep using your phone. It's all because of that. And so I mean, now at this point, I feel like even watching a movie feels productive. Even watching something on TV
A bigger
feels
screen.
productive. You know, I think let's just say back in 2018, even these things would have been like, oh, why are you watching TV and, you know, do something productive. And now I'm like, oh, I did something productive. I watched a film on TV.
It's true. I just want you to expand a little bit more, because I think in terms of the effect, like you said, the drop in productivity you referred to. For example, I feel like somewhere, and I don't know if it's true, there's a whole generation that will be created as a result of this. You know, like children who are growing up now. How will they be impacted by this rise of digital, like just the digital revolution and our dependency on it? How will it be impacting them? If you can just spell that out for us a little bit more.
Yeah, so it will definitely be impacting them, because some kind of rewiring is
Neurologically.
happening. Yes, neurologically is happening in their brains. And if you see, there are so many studies saying that now the current Gen Zs also become unemployable. Is what I mean. It's a very dramatic statement to make, but it is true, because people, while they are aware that okay, we need these mental health breaks and all, the problem is that their tolerance to frustration is very low, is extremely low. So, you know, they are not able to say that, okay, fine, this is a big feeling, I can sit with it, but still be productive at work. It's like, okay, if I am feeling something, I don't want to feel this, then immediately I need to change, because that's what happens when you watch a reel. If a reel does not interest you for 5 seconds, you go,
so
you swipe up.
Stay with it.
So you don't stay with it and go through it. I have to just either escape or this is not my job.
Right.
So that is happening, and it is happening at a neurological level.
Right.
That why should I do this? That's not my job.
Right.
Like that.
But then there's a line between dependency and addiction. I get the sense from you, because you've talked about discipline and your mother and other people, external, internal factors that help you navigate that line, and you're not addicted. I'm asking.
At times I am. I feel like I am. At times when I don't get sleep at night, I'm just scrolling Instagram, and then I'm just like, you know, Jannat, you just better keep the phone aside and just sleep. There have been times I had to keep my phone in another room to get sleep.
But they say actually you should keep your phone in another room.
Yes, you should, but people hardly do that.
Right.
But like I said, that I'm self-aware and I know when it's getting out of hands.
And you're able to dial it
I'm
down.
able to reverse it, yes.
Right.
So I have done that. But at times, yes, it does get addictive.
How do we tell whether we're addicted or dependent?
So dependency is what? When you have to rely on something.
Right. Yeah.
So when you rely on social media or something to follow the latest trends, to follow recipes, to find a destination, to find a good hotel, to see a movie review. So that all is depending. And we all have to depend on some technology or the other. I mean, today if you want groceries also, you're still on your phone. If you have to do a restaurant booking, you have to go on Zomato or District and do a restaurant booking. So we cannot ever live a life where we are not dependent on the screen, because that's just how it's become. I mean, even to pay someone, you have UPI.
Yeah.
So you have to go on this screen. But addiction is a problem. So it has to be seen as an illness or a disorder, right? We are comfortable in seeing alcohol, drugs, all of that, gambling as addictions, right? Here we don't see this as an addiction because it is socially acceptable behavior. I mean, if she's on her screen all night, she's not affecting anyone. She's not doing bad to anyone. It's her life. And that's why it is allowed more in our society. And people don't see it as an addiction. But an addiction is something which compels you to go back to it again and again, and without which you just feel, I mean, I have teens and people who come to me who say that I don't know what to do with my life. I'm getting a mini panic attack if I don't have my phone, or sometimes, you know, if the phone battery has died and they're outside, then they are like, we don't know what to do because we cannot live without us.
I was going to ask you in your practice whether you have people coming to you with addiction, and this is happening more and more.
Yes, it's happening more and more, and like addictions are of different kinds, right? The base is that compulsively people are just checking their phones, they're bombarded with notifications, they just want to see what happened. If they post a normal you know, story, they want to see what are the likes, I mean, how many people have viewed it. It is an addiction.
Right.
And other addictions which sometimes the apps form as habitual addictions.
Right.
In the sense, there are these apps which say that, okay, you know, like there is a streak that you have to follow. Right? Even for kids apps like Duolingo, you need to follow a streak. Because if you lose that streak, then you know the child is like, I have a preteen daughter who will be like, oh mom, but just let me log in for 5 minutes because my streak will go away. And I'm like, okay, What is that now?
Right.
Now Snapchat also has streaks.
Right.
That how many times did you log in? I mean, I don't understand as much about it, but I'm learning from my daughter.
Right.
And that I think is addictive in nature.
Right.
Like even when we are, holidaying somewhere, she'll be like, can I use this particular app because I just need it for 2 minutes. And I'm like, but why are you so anxious? And it's like, no, because it will take away the streak.
Right.
So it is at that level, and this kind of addiction is a problem.
I feel like with a sort of 50 million following and you doing what you do, then would it be safe to say that you sometimes feel the pressure of having to create content and upload content at times when you may not want to because people expect you to? And does that drive you at all? Does that stress you at all?
There's always this unspoken pressure, which is always there, unspoken pressure, responsibility. But it's not something that affects me. Like I said, that I never treat social media like a strategy. I will post when I feel like posting. There have been days I've gone 10 days without posting because I'd rather post when it feels real.
Right.
Okay, when it comes from within, that okay, this is something that I want to share.
Right.
Now it's different with my work.
Right.
Okay, you're also dependent on social media when I do like brand campaigns there. Deliverables, their date, time, it's all given by the brand. Okay, then all of that you need to follow.
Right.
But personally, when you ask me if I feel the pressure of posting a picture or story or making some content or putting out a reel just because, okay, it's been a while that I haven't posted, so I need to stay relevant and post so that I gain some more likes, engagement, followers.
Just because you're afraid also. I mean, some people feel like, if they don't, then they're forgotten. Or even if you're not forgotten, there's a fear of being forgotten. I'm not saying you do, but I'm saying as a sense of anybody who's in the public space, especially with these diminishing attention spans that people have.
Yeah, so I think it's very important for them to understand and know. I mean, you need to know your worth. If you don't post for 3 days, if you feel like you'll be forgotten in 3 days, I mean, come on, girl.
Yeah.
That's not something, it's not healthy. And I don't think I feel that kind of pressure. I mean, there have been times I've felt like, okay, the followers are growing slower, or I've received this many unfollows. And that was 3-4 years ago, I'd say, and I've outgrown that mindset as well. So now, currently, I'm very content with all of that, and I feel like social media is social media, my life is my life. So the balance and that thin line is something that is very important for you to understand.
And maybe that comes with time.
It does.
And it comes with a certain level of security.
Also. And it's taken time.
So the addiction we've spoken about, how does one find sort of perhaps early signs of slipping into a sense where you're losing control, such that perhaps if you catch it early, you can scale back or draw back? So what are some of those early signs of the dependency getting out of hand?
I mean, not to sound negative, but I think those early signs and those early times for most of us has already that ship has sailed for all of us.
Yeah.
But now what we could do is that we can do a bit of self-reflection and see if, things like if your phone is the first thing that, you want to see in the morning. If you just can't, if you just can't live without it, the moment you wake up, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, if you're constantly waiting for some notification to come, or even if you're reliant on so many alarms, like I feel that people have just stopped thinking, right? Because I have people whose Google calendars are full. I'm like, what do you have on Google Calendar? It could be like, okay, lunch at this time.
You don't need to remember to have
lunch. You have to have it's just food. So they have these to-do lists. So, people are, I think, getting deeper and deeper into technology, and they have to take a step back and realize that, okay, but maybe 10 years ago, I didn't need this, right? Now people have some money management apps. How much did I spend? But that's okay. You can have like a book, a paper and a pen, and you can write. I mean, you don't need an app to tell you how much you're, and these insights that they call, the insights itself are so addictive. Right? Insights are there on social media as well. How she said that, these many number of unfollowers, likes, interaction. But ideally, I mean, for her and you, I mean, it's your profession. But other people don't really need that kind of feedback that you've put something out. Now, these many people have seen or whatever. So you don't need that. Another sign would be, when you say that I've had a hard day, and this is the only reward I can give myself, right? That I deserve social media. Means you have put it above everything else in your life, and you have said that this is my me time. But I would like people to know that actually it's contradictory. Downtime and me time can never coexist with excessive social media use. The reason is because social media somewhere will alter your mood, mindset. It will also alter the way you manage your daily activities.
Right.
I have so many people who will be, like it will be like 5 minutes will become 15, 15 minutes will become 50 minutes.
Doom scrolling.
Yes, doom scrolling, and then you realize, oh my God, I was just going to be here for 5 minutes and now I've wasted an hour.
And you've probably forgotten what you went there for in the first place.
Exactly, you've forgotten because it's like, it's a vicious cycle. Few signs where you just cannot live without your phone, that it all constantly has to be with you.
Right.
That is a sign where we are just deeply into this.
Like if you can tell us a little bit about how sleep, good nutrition, habits that are, like I feel I'm so guilty of it. Like, especially when it comes, because I have dessert every day. Like I have a slice of chocolate cake every single day. I have to be watching TV when I eat that. I can see that in my child already. Even though I'm very careful to she's not aware of how much screen time I actually, expose myself to. And she is allowed, like very strict when it comes to her. So all these things, how can we build a sort of healthy, these pillars, such that it will help us navigate our digital dependency?
Right, so let's first take sleep. Sleep is for downtime. So ideally, if you have this excessive social media usage, then think about it this way, that you want your downtime, you're in your bed, and suddenly if there is a knock on the door and there are 50 people coming and saying different things, somebody is telling you that this is the hotel you should go to, I'm selling this outfit, or this is the film review that you should see, and you'll be like, oh my God, what's happening? That's exactly what it is, what it feels to use your phone before you just go to sleep.
Right.
And the body has to have a proper sleep rhythm.
Right.
So many teenagers come to me and say, oh, I get like 8 hours of sleep. I'm like, great. So what time did you sleep? So yeah, 4 to 12, 4 a.m. to 12 noon. So, but the maximum...
What are your 8 hours?
Okay. We'll get back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's very common, right?
Yeah.
That you get 6, 7, 8 hours, but the body also has a few hormones like cortisol or melatonin. So there is a specific time for it.
A rhythm.
So ideally there's a rhythm, and they say that if from 11 to 4:30 or 11 to 4 is an ideal time.
But who in their 20s or which teenagers following that rhythm?
They don't
Nobody.
follow that, right?
Is anyone following that rhythm? Only when you become 40, then you're suddenly like, oh my God, I need to do
At
this.
40 also I'm not following this.
I'm embracing it. I'm going to wear it 11 o'clock.
Right, so I'm waiting to turn 40. Now I have only 2 more months, and then I think I'll have to.
Then you join us.
But then I'll join you. So the second part is food. Now I always say this, that the sole purpose of food is to only give us nutrients, right? But mostly people misuse that and use it for other purposes. For emotional eating, midnight snacking, boredom eating, feeling good, have food, feeling bad, have food. And I think screens also have a lot to do with that. Because, with mindlessly scrolling or mindlessly seeing something on television also comes mindless eating. You can just sit with a packet of chips and it just gets over like this before you realize it. And sometimes, these screen timings are also associated with your stomach cravings. Like I have so many people come to me and say that exactly at 12 o'clock, I feel like, going to the fridge, having a chocolate, ice cream, or having wafers, soya chips. I mean, these are the normal ones which, have a lot of either salt or a lot of sweet.
Sugar.
So the body starts craving. So now the body has this new rhythm that 12 o'clock means I need to have that. So if we were to have a healthy food routine, and we would just take food for the nutrition part and then have cheat days. Please have the pizza, have whatever you want. But I think that having it at night and having a fully productive day. So I have people who will be really healthy, who will have salad, who will have protein, everything the whole day. And then at 8, 9, 10, 11, that's when those cravings increase. Perhaps because of a calorie deficit, or it could just be because now their mind is used to that, oh, abhi TV dekhna hai, or abhi khana hai, abhi, I'm sitting with myself. I have so many young moms who say that, I need to unwind. Because, my husband, kids, everybody has just been too much for me. So I unwind, and when do I get this? hours time to myself. So I'm going to be on screen, and then I feel hungry because I'm awake. So then I'll start eating. So I think a healthy food routine should be maintained. And then you asked about exercise. There is nothing better than exercise in any form. So I see exercise as movement. As long as you are moving your body, anyway, you're walking, jogging, yoga, gym, strength training, kickboxing, anything that you do, as long as you're, or stretching even, as long as you are moving and the body is not in one position for long, it is going to be healthy. And these are not something that it's not like a reward you give your body, right? It's not supposed to be a once in a time thing. It should be a part of your daily routine. So good sleep, good food, and moving about during the day, whatever you do. Even if, let's say, you're taking a flight of stairs, that should be a part of your day. And same way, social media is a part of your day, not the whole day, is what you have to remember.
Right. That's why I made you walk up 3 flights of stairs today, by the way, so that our movement at least is done for the day. We spoke about, and what I'm really interested in is actually this self-validation that comes from social media, which no matter how impenetrable we are as people, no matter how strong we are, we get affected by whether it's the trolling, whether it's the numbers, whether it's the dip in following. I'm saying someone like me who this isn't also my first career or my main career. I'm of a certain age where I feel like, I'm not a teenager who should be so vulnerable to these things, but it still gets to me. And there's comparisons with other people. So I wanted to ask you, Jannat, because you are in this, like I'm saying that this is what you do on a day-to-day basis. At any point, do you feel like your sense of self, your sense of who you are, your confidence, comes from outside, like that sense of self-validation with the followers, with fans, whether it's friends, people, your peers, people you know, strangers, does that affect you?
Okay, so I would like to answer this in a little different way. When you talk about comparison, when you talk about trolls, when you talk about the hatred that you receive from social media, okay, so now that when I receive all of that, I don't self-doubt. I don't think that, oh, I'm any less. Oh, maybe there is something wrong with me. Oh, why do I not look a certain way? Oh, why am I not tall enough? That is never the case. I just feel very angry. I feel anxious about the situation that I'm in. I feel very anxious about, okay, why are they saying all of this to my parents? Oh, why are they saying this to my brother? Oh, what has he done? Oh, why are they coming on my work? I mean, I have done nothing wrong. Why are they provoking? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? So it's never about, oh, I don't think I am not good enough. I just feel like, why is this happening? Or why am I put in this situation where I have to feel this way? Why am I made to feel this way? Why are you literally trolling my parents, my entire family, my career, my profession, my being? So that sense is always there, but never that, oh, I think I'm not good enough to be on social media. Oh, I don't look a certain way, or I think she looks better than me. Or I think that way I'm very happy and content. I'm very happy with the way I look, with the way I am. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know what I'm doing in my professional life, personal life, and I'm very happy with where I am at right now. Okay, and I'm at peace. But these people, or let's just say faceless people on social media, they don't really affect my being.
Do you ever engage?
Never.
Never.
And I never read my comments. Like, I stopped reading my comments 3-4 years ago. I stopped. And now, so my mother joined Instagram, I think three years ago, and then she used to come to me that, Jannat, look at this person. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with this. He's been messaging also, writing these nasty comments about you. And I told her, I said, Mama, ignore. And you know what? The best thing is to not read any comments. So I have told my parents, do not read any comments. I've told myself, Jannat, do not read any comments. So even there are times where my friends, people I know, they comment and there are hardly any liked by author in the bowl, because I never read comments. I think the best thing to do is to ignore, because honestly there is nothing else you can do.
And I think it must be so empowering and so exciting to have direct access also.
Absolutely.
You can say anything that you want to anyone today on Instagram, and people read those comments, and they're publicly available. So I think for anonymous people anywhere in the world, knowing that you can't hit back, you don't know who these people are, you don't know what their families are, in some ways it's very exciting for them to be able to say things.
Yes.
In terms of things that you lose, I'm saying that if you're on social media, you said that you have friends and you have family and you have badminton and other things that give you a sense of normalcy in your life. But the life of a content creator, the life of an actor, the life of all the things that you're doing, I'm saying, how do you think that that might have affected your friendships? Some people, again, I'm not saying you, they have, or they feel that they have friends and communities online. And sometimes they replace offline communities with online communities, offline friends with online interactions. So I just wonder what, for you, what community looks like.
Gladly, I have friends who I can call at 3 a.m. and I have called at 3 a.m.
Because their phones are on their bedside table.
On the bedside,
and not in the other room.
Yes.
charging.
Yes, that is also true. But I think that is still better than talking to ChatGPT, no?
Yeah,
true.
So I think my friendships, I think they've evolved. If I don't have a phone and if I'm feeling lonely at 3 a.m., I definitely can't leave my house and go to theirs, right?
Right.
And I would what? End up sitting alone or, just overthinking. I am an overthinker.
Right.
But now, like we said, there are pros and cons of social media. There are pros and cons of the devices, the tools. It's just that you don't have to get trapped in them.
Yeah.
So I think in this manner, I'm at least interacting with my people. There is never, I never feel lonely just because, okay, now what do? I can't reach out to them, I can't do this or I can't do that, but it's not affected my friendship. But I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. I see stories of a lot of people that I know and they're like, ChatGPT is my best friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can ChatGPT be your best
My
friend?
therapist also,
Your therapist also?
No, I'm saying not for me, but I feel like a lot of people turn, their doctors, their therapists, they get their friends, they turn to a machine before they turn to an individual for so many things.
Oh yeah, that is true. And I think dependency again is fine. But making ChatGPT or Meta AI your best friend is, no,
that
you can't do that. No, you need to
amiss.
have friends. You need to have people around. You need to know that technology cannot replace people.
Right.
It's just technology. You can use it, but you need to have friends. You need to have people by your side. You need to communicate with another person if you're feeling a certain way. You cannot be telling ChatGPT, oh, I cannot sleep. Can you help me? Can you sing a song for me? You can't do that. It's very important. So with me, no, it has never happened. And I hope that anybody who's made ChatGPT their best friends, please go back to your best friends. Best friend, you need to make real people and interact with real people. You need to share your feelings with real people. Rather than depending on a technology for that matter.
Khushnaaz, tell us, how is technology, social media changing the way people are experiencing relationships, even marriages, friendships? How's that happening?
So see, firstly, social media was made with this noble intention to get the world closer and more connected. That is now gone, we've achieved that, but now it's gone to a different level because as everything, when it does well, it scales up. So now the scaling has new problems with it. So now for friendships, now I'm very happy to hear that somebody like her is so evolved and can keep herself away from that. And good, and I'm hoping that all the young girls and teenagers take inspiration from her, right? But otherwise, what has happened about friendships is that, see, our human mind regularly also tries to gravitate towards comfort and convenience. And because of social media and digital use, people feel very awkward in calling up people or meeting them. So they say, isn't it just easy? Like nowadays, I have people who say that, even if I call up somebody for a birthday, can't I just put a post and finish it off? But friendships weren't like that. Friendship is to show up for somebody, to have a real interaction. But now that's become passé. It's just that you put a reel or a story for your friend, and that is more important.
And you wish them on social media, but you don't actually call them.
But then there are girls who will say that, oh, but I got only 5 stories for my birthday. But I said, but you just celebrated your birthday with 20 people. Wasn't that? No, but on my social media, only these 5 did. So those 15 I'm very angry with. And social media also sometimes promotes toxic friendships, which means you see some memes, which say that you are my friend, you signed up for this. I think that's not a very good way of looking at friendship, like that high excess demand, demandingness from a friend, that you have to be available, otherwise you're not a good friend. So I think social media has done that it's made our friendships also quite conditional. And when you say about romantic relationships, I think I can speak for the entire podcast about how it has affected romantic relationships, but just to crunch it up, see, firstly, because social media is available, there are a lot of indiscretions that are sadly happening because everything is available. So emotional cheating is at an all-time high. Because people, it is so easy to access with anybody, you know, from anywhere
Slipping into your DMs.
Yes, so it is a very, very slippery slope, right? And people in general feel lonely. So the thing is that we are connected, but ironically, we are feeling more lonely than ever. Right? So what happens is that even when you come home to a spouse, your spouse is also distracted. You are distracted, spouse is distracted. I have people who, you know, say that we are watching TV together, but just a minute I look at my spouse and the spouse is
second screening.
You know, second screening, yes. Right? So that has affected relationships. Another thing that I see in my practice is a reels war. Right, where a wife will send 10 reels of how a good husband is and how a good relationship looks like. So how you would know, like, you know, in your, I mean, you are somebody that people look up to for your relationship with Kunal. I mean, I'm sure that people look up to that, right? I'm sure that, no, I think that it is, right, what we see on screen. So I'm sure that somebody must have sent your reel to just see, this is how an ideal relationship looks like. Then the husband will send her other reels, this is how an ideal wife should be like. The other reel war, and which is very unhealthy, is people diagnosing serious mental disorders and using it as loose words. Like nowadays people will come and say, oh, you know, like my husband is such a narcissist, my wife is a borderline personality, bipolar, and then there are terms like he's breadcrumbing me, he's gaslighting me, she's doing this. So I mean,
they're throwing around these terms.
They're just throwing around these terms loosely, maybe probably not knowing that, you know, there is more to those terms. And even if it is true, the minute you keep reading that and the algorithm pushes that,
keeps the similar kind of content.
Algorithm is something
the phone is always listening to us. Like even if you're like having a fight and the phone is listening to you, and the next moment you open your reels, and then I think all of these things, it just increases.
Wait, the next moment you open a reel and what if you're having a fight?
No, so then you'll see
then you will see related content.
Yes.
Like, oh, so now the husband has done this. Oh, now this is what you've done. See, her husband has also done the same thing. So now this is what you are. And then the husband will see similar kind of content. So basically, the algorithm also kind of provokes you.
Yes, it does.
You know, so I think it's just, oh, you are a red flag then. Suddenly you're a red flag because apparently this phone has become this auntie that would only, you know, you will only see the content about your fight and about that, oh, because you're feeling a certain way because your partner has done this, and how did the phone know? Oh, because it was listening apparently to the fights. So the fights are also increasing because of the algorithm.
It is.
That's just bizarre. It's like all this Black Mirror stuff that is happening.
It is. It is, right? And the end of that, every reel war is a clueless husband saying, "Hua kya hai?" What just happened? You send me so many reels, and what just happened? But the algorithm does play on a person's mindset, right?
One recent moment, Jannat, where you were fully present, and there was no phone, there was no camera, and you derived like some kind of satisfaction on a different level from it.
Oh, I think I have these moments every day. Like last night, I was shooting the entire day, and then I just wanted to unwind, and I called my friend that picked me from my shoot, and then we'll go eat something, and then you drop me home. And whenever I'm out with my friends on a drive, there's just music, conversations, good vibes, no phones, no cameras, chatting, eating, having fun, and
so
that's
you can eat without taking a picture of the food and posting that.
Absolutely. I don't remember the last time I took a picture of my food and I posted on my stories. I cannot put every little thing of my life. I cannot post every moment of my life on my social media. Like I have my life beyond social media. I need to get offline. My social media is just a little part of my life. It's not my entire life.
Little bit I wanted to ask you, because as a parent, potentially future parent, maybe you care about children, how do parents set boundaries for children, because children, we understand, are vulnerable. Now they are exposed to screens in school, they're coming home, they're asking for iPads, some of them have phones, so technology is a very important part of their learning. How do parents set healthy boundaries for their children?
Right. So, firstly, a parent who has to set a healthy boundary has to know that they cannot be addicted to their screens.
Right.
Because then that just gives a wrong message. A smartphone should not be given to a child at least till they are 15. Some parents come and tell me that, oh, but we have to track them, or we have to call them.
There are other ways of doing that.
Yes, so I say that you can give like a Nokia phone. Like my daughter is really embarrassed about one silly Nokia phone that we have.
So you're implementing this with your daughter?
Yes, I am implementing it, right, where she has a Nokia phone. Just off late, because now she is going to be 13 soon, there are these WhatsApp groups that she felt that, if I'm not a part of them, then I'm not in that circle, and I need to be connected. So now what we have established is, because she's so young, we've said that, okay, on my WhatsApp, your friends will message, but you have my word. Till date, I'm telling you, truest to myself, that I have never looked at those WhatsApp groups. So we maintain that kind of trust, right? And she knows that my mom will never look at my, and we are close enough that if there is some problem, she'll come to me.
Oh, nice.
But that happens when, you build the trust and when you don't break it.
Right.
That's one. Like we had to give her an iPad. Now, we didn't want to give her an iPad, but we had to, because like Google Classroom, like by the time I and my husband come home, or, like we've just done with work, there are so many instructions on Google Classroom.
Right.
And then you cannot expect a child, when it's like 9:30 bedtime, you can't expect them to then say that, oh, I have to do this assignment.
No, they should be asleep.
Yes, they should be asleep. So, but what do you do for a person who is in the 7th grade, right?
Yes.
My daughter is in the 7th grade.
Yes.
So for that, we've given her an iPad with Wi-Fi, but not with cellular data. So she never feels the need to carry it when she goes out.
Right.
So you have to reduce things that way.
Right.
Right. And other boundaries is that, remember that never give a child a threat that you are not going to follow
through on.
Like how we say that, oh, I'm going to take your screen time or no Wi-Fi for a week. And then you yourself can't stay without Wi-Fi. So,
and then you're like, I wish she was watching TV so I would get a break.
Yes, correct. So I think that if you are going to follow like a digital detox at home, or if you are going to, give them techniques, you'll have to follow them yourselves as well. And also remember that children do very well, or teens also do very well, if they have structure and routine.
Right.
If they have a purpose.
Right.
So kids should have a purpose.
Right.
Be it anything. Either it could be play or a class or a hobby. And of course, we don't have to like bombard them with too many hobbies, but they need to know what I have to do next.
Yeah.
Like today I know that I had to see clients, and I'm coming here, then I have some other people to still see. So that all, I have a purpose.
So a little structure to their day.
Yes, structure is very important. And you have to promote consistency, and they can model that consistent behavior if you are consistent.
Yes. Have you ever felt the need to do a digital detox? If you did do a digital detox, what would it look like?
Oh, okay. So I've never felt like doing a digital detox, but I did a show, The Traitors,
yes.
and 12 days I was without my phone. So I think that was my digital detox, and I think that was my greatest discovery, that I was being able to stay without my phone, and I was super happy, and I didn't feel the need of my phone. Initially I was very skeptical about doing the show, just because they said that I cannot use my phone. And I was like, how am I going to not use my phone?
What was the first thing you thought? Like, what would you miss the most?
Talking to my parents, like no contact with my family. Like, how am I going to deal with that? Because every place that I go to, I always have one of my parents with me, or somebody with me, like from my team. Like, I'm never left alone. So that was the first thought that came, and then it was like 12 days without the phone.
12 days is a lot.
Yes, like without even seeing the time. Like, I won't even know what time is it.
You can look at a clock.
Yeah, no, we didn't have the clock.
Oh, so part of the game.
Yeah, the format was very different. We were not allowed watches also.
The sun is at this point.
Yes, exactly. We were not allowed watches also.
Wow, that's intense.
And then I was like, I think I have to do this. I need to know if I'm capable of doing something like this, going without using my phone, not being able to know what's happening in the world, and just being in the moment and living. And I did that.
And what were the first 24 hours like?
I just missed my family, not my phone.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But that's amazing.
That was really good. Really good. And I think we all should try it once. We feel like, okay, I can't do without my phone. Or maybe there are days where like, I don't think we can work if we don't have our phones. I don't think I can eat. I can't, even now if I wake up in the morning, the first thing that, like you said, that we often check our phones, but there it wasn't like this. I did not check my phone. I had no alarms.
Yeah.
I used to get up on my own. I used to sleep without checking my phone. I didn't have any idea what time is it, what's happening around.
And when you had time to yourself, what did you do? Just to rest or to have fun?
Just to rest. I think boredom is so important. It is so important. You need to get bored.
Yeah.
You need that time with yourself to unwind, to relax, to think, to be creative. And I think now because of these tools, we get trapped. And I never see anybody saying that, oh, I'm bored, because you're always doing something on your phone.
Right.
And I felt that boredom there.
Right.
Like we used to shoot the entire day, but when we used to go back to our hotels, there was nothing that I could possibly do, and I used to get bored.
That's
but
true.
Strangely, I really liked getting bored. I was like, this is fun. I'm just sitting. I'm just sitting.
Did you write at all? Did you write
I did.
a letter to your mother or something?
Not like a letter, but just random stuff. If nothing at all, I used to just do my signs, or just like Jannat, 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 or stars, stars, stars. But that was something.
Create.
Yeah, that was something I hadn't done in 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I was like, this is something very important. It is very important at times to get bored, to feel that boredom, to just sit alone, to just relax, to just be with yourself, to just maybe just look at the roof and not use your phone.
But I feel like, these are such unexpected answers from somebody like you. Who
I know.
We would not expect you to say all these things, which I think is so refreshing. Just a last couple of questions for the both of you. I just wanted to reference what's happening in the rest of the world. We have people like Kate Winslet who have talked openly about how she's very strict with her children. She doesn't want them on social media till a certain age. Even Australia has passed a law which will come into effect later this year in 2025, which actually bans children under the age of 16 from being on Instagram and various other apps, because they really feel, especially post shows like Adolescence, that this is a danger to children and teenagers. How do you feel about that? And I have a friend called Niranjana. So every time we have a podcast, she asks a question and we get our guests to tell us whether she is correct or incorrect.
Okay.
And it's quite balanced now.
Right.
She's doing quite well. Some are correct and some are incorrect. So her question was, social media is just bad for your mental health, period. So what would you say to her?
Okay, so I would say that because there are a few benefits, it's not like a blanket bad or a blanket evil. It cannot be.
Right.
So, but that is the very characteristic of social media, that it is dichotomous in nature.
Right.
It is as empowering for some people and as enslaving for the others.
Like so many human inventions.
Yes, many, right? So here you can't just say a blanket no, but yes, if we have reduced screen times, or if we are, I think, more mindful of how our kids spend time on our screens, that is definitely the need of the hour.
Right.
But in our current educational system, with sometimes, teachers also telling at different ages, like at grade 1, grade 2, that, you have to watch this Dr. Binock's video or something, you cannot avoid it. It is now so much a part of our lives that you cannot even shield kids completely from that. But as a parent, it is your responsibility to make sure that a little bit of screen time can be given and the rest is taken away, and be a good role model for that. Even if things like inappropriate content, let's talk about that a bit.
Right.
At least if a child is having access to some magazine, it's somewhere going to be caught,
right?
Because you're going to hide it somewhere,
right?
But on your phone, what do? You see so many kids, when you enter the room, they'll just shut the window, scroll, swipe, erase history. So at that time, I do agree a bit with the new rule that a smartphone shouldn't be given. But I think saying that social media is bad completely may not be true, because I think it's not about good or bad. It's whether we are going to be able to survive without it or not.
Right.
Right. So that's the dichotomy of it. But yes, it is true that it might do more bad to kids than good.
Right.
If it is excessively used.
Right. And one closing thought from you, Jannat, in terms of addressing Gen Z, Gen Alpha, people who might be watching right now, listening right now, what is one thing that you would like them to remember when it comes to them better managing their digital lives?
Use social media as a part of your life and do not completely depend on it, and do not make it your entire life. It's okay to log out sometimes. It's okay to not post everything that's happening in your life, and use social media as a tool and not a mirror.
Lovely. Lovely. I don't think I could have said it better. Thank you both for being on this episode. It's really meant a lot, and I think we've learned so much. And as I was saying to you earlier, I think the impression that I had in terms of how you'd be managing your digital life has been set straight. Certainly for me, perhaps for people who didn't know you as well as they know you now. And thank you so much, Khushnaaz, for being so generous with your time. I think this has really been a refreshing chat, because I think we can all agree that we are not all united against technology. We just need to find that balance that keeps our minds and our hearts sort of anchored in the right space. So thank you, Jannat. Thank you, Khushnaaz. And thank all of you at home for listening. And maybe put your phones, your screens away after this episode. Until next time, remember to stay informed, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next episode.